Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 273, The Day the Rainbows Came. The sun shone brightly on the small town of Sunnyside. It was a day like any other, except for one strange thing. The sky was full of rainbows. Not just one, but many. They arched and swirled, covering the whole town in a beautiful kaleidoscope of colours. People stopped in their tracks, mouths open in surprise. Children giggled and pointed, their faces filled with wonder. Old Mrs. Jenkins, who usually sat on her porch reading, stood up and stared at the sky, her wrinkled face a picture of awe. "Have you ever seen anything like it?" said Mrs. Jones to her neighbour, Mr. Smith, as they watched the rainbows dance in the sky. "Never," he replied, shaking his head. "It's like a dream." Soon the whole town was talking about the rainbows. Was it a sign, a miracle, or just a beautiful natural phenomenon? The children, especially, were excited. They ran around the town chasing the rainbows as they moved across the sky. They laughed and jumped, their joys infectious. In the afternoon, the local newspaper published a front-page article about the rainbows. It was the talk of the town. The article explained that the rainbows were caused by a rare weather event, a combination of strong winds and high humidity. But for the people of Sunnyside, the explanation didn't matter. They had experienced something special, something that had brought them joy and wonder. They had seen the rainbows, and that was all that mattered. As the sun began to set, the rainbows slowly faded, leaving behind a sky painted with the soft hues of twilight. The people of Sunnyside gathered in the town square, sharing stories and laughter. "It was a beautiful day," said Mrs. Jenkins, her voice trembling slightly. "Yes," agreed Mr. Smith, "a day we'll never forget." And so the day the rainbows came to Sunnyside was etched in the memories of its people, a reminder that even in the ordinary, the extraordinary can appear. Vocabulary notes. Shine, verb, meaning to produce a bright light. Example in the story, the sun shone brightly on the small town of Sunnyside. Example sentence, the stars shone brightly in the night sky. Similar words, gleam, sparkle, shimmer. Arched, verb, meaning to form a curve like an arch. Example in the story, they arched and swirled, covering the whole town in a beautiful kaleidoscope of colours. Example sentence, the bridge arched gracefully over the river. Similar words, curved, bent, rounded. Kaleidoscope, noun, meaning a tube with mirrors that create changing patterns of colours when you look through it. Example in the story, they arched and swirled, covering the whole town in a beautiful kaleidoscope of colours. Example sentence, the stained glass window looked like a kaleidoscope. Similar words, pattern, mosaic, design. Awed, adjective, meaning feeling great admiration and wonder. Example in the story, old Mrs. Jenkins, who usually sat on her porch reading, stood up and stared at the sky, her wrinkled face a picture of awe. Example sentence, the children were awed by the magician's tricks. Similar words, amazed, astonished, impressed. Phenomenon, noun, meaning something that happens or exists and can be seen, felt, or observed, especially something unusual or interesting. Example in the story, was it a sign, a miracle, or just a beautiful natural phenomenon? Example sentence, the aurora borealis is a natural phenomenon. Similar words, event, occurrence, wonder. Infectious, adjective, meaning spreading easily from one person to another, like a disease. Example in the stories: they laughed and jumped, their joy infectious. Example sentence: her laughter was so infectious that everyone started laughing too. Similar words: contagious, catching, spreading. Etched, verb, meaning to carve or mark something into a surface, especially in a permanent way. Example in the story: and so the day the rainbows came to Sunnyside was etched into the memories of its people. Example sentence: the inscription was etched into the tombstone. Similar words: engraved, carved, imprinted. Reminder, noun, meaning something that helps you remember something. Example in the story: a reminder that even in the ordinary, the extraordinary can appear. Example sentence: the photo was a reminder of their trip to Italy. Similar words: memory, cue, hint. Story written by onemin.ai. Images created by Designer AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.